Doshiteru and Yokoso YouTube, and welcome to this 1v1 Avatar Conquest battle. This is one of the new maps actually. I think it's called the Akikiyo Ridge or something like that. I really like this map, and I've dubbed it the Matchlock Nightmare because using matchlocks on this certain map here is absolutely tough. Because your matchlocks are going to have to face with these trees, bamboo trees, all these dips and turns and hills in the terrain. Now, if you didn't know, this map is really nice. It seems to like depict a sort of like a floodplain or something like that, I guess, or like a river or like even a road. Yeah, I think it is a road. And if you actually follow this road, you can see that over here, on this little island thing, there's a castle. I don't know why you'd build it here. It's kind of useless, but it looks cool. It looks really nice. There it is. And looks like the people inside are partying, yay, partying. So let's start with my opponent. My opponent today is, what's his name? Urakiroshi. He's got 2 units of Boa Shigaru, 2 units of Katana Samurai, 4 units of Yari Shigaru, 2 units of Light Cav, which he pushed into the trees and hid earlier, and there's his general. Now, this is a nightmare for me. My opponent is lower leveled than I am in this fight. I think he was level 2 or 3. There's his Light Cav right there in the back. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, or what I talked about in the last battle, when it's tough for higher level players to play low level players, because you can see that my general alone costs a lot of money. Even though I don't have a lot of veterans, it becomes really difficult to field the proper type of army in terms of just numbers. And when it's small scale units like this, it's even worse. So this wasn't a good matchup for me. I wasn't looking forward to this at all, but I knew I had to do my best and play to my strengths. And in this certain experience, my strengths were my experience, and I had to use that and try to outplay and outmatch my opponent. So we'll see how it turns out. We'll see if I failed or if I succeeded. 2 units of Yari Shigaru supporting 2 units of Doa Shigaru at the front right there. At the back I've got 1 single veteran unit, 1 experience, nothing too serious. And this is Inodachi Samurai, and they are the Kami no Seikon, or God's Stigma, or God's Wrath. Another Inodachi Samurai here. And there's my general, Matsuda Kagemaru. There he is. And I do have 1 unit of Light Cav in the trees here. You can see that I know that my opponent moved his Light Cav to the left, so having 2 Yari Shigaru supporting all across my line isn't really a smart idea. I place my units at a small hill advantage towards my opponent. You can see that I am taking shots and concentrating my fire into one of his units. Now I do have the Yumi Officer, which gives me more reload skill for my bowmen. So that means that my bows will be able to reload quicker than his bows, and I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but if you keep watching here, you'll notice it. So his bows are absolutely getting pummeled here by my bowmen, or over there across from the field. And as for his troops, well, he's just lined them up, and you can see he's formed a spear wall for some reason. I don't know why you'd form spear wall this early in the game. I did only have 1 cav unit. So you can see that the skirmish fight is definitely going my way. I've taken this unit down to 23 men, and I've only lost 9 men in this unit. So 9 men lost there, and then yeah, just 9 men lost in total, while he lost about half of his units, which is good. Now, what I'm doing here is I am pulling back. I want to see if my opponent is playing a more offensive styled approach or a more defensive styled approach. So I'm pulling back to kind of scout out, see how he does, see how he micros his troops, and you can see that he is pushing his bows forward, trying to match them in range, and all this time I'm being a little sneaky Kagemaru, and I am sneaking my Light Cav through the bamboo trees. There they are. Sneaking them slowly, and you pretty much can guess what I'm trying to do here. I want to be able to run a quick charge against his troops. So you can see that I'm leaving my troops in what appears to be a very clumsy formation, but this was all intentional. I wanted to drag his archers towards me, and doing stuff like that definitely makes your opponent feel a little bit more confident, and that's what I was trying to achieve there. But look at this. It appears that he is not going to fall for my bait. He's going to run back towards his main line very safely, and there goes that bow unit. And I'm going to pretend that, you know, I'm I'm cool with that. I'm going to try it again. Persistence is key. I'm going to rush my troops forward again, trying to do the same thing, trying to drag him out the same. Let's go ahead and fast forward here. And you can see pushing my troops forward. I know I've got a bow advantage now. 100% sure I can outshoot him, but I want to keep my bows to shoot his infantry, who outnumber me by a big number. And here we go, doing it again, pulling back, trying to give him more leeway. And in comes my light cav. My opponent does see this, but it looks like he won't be able to respond in time. He will activate his light cavalry, which is way too far away from the action. You can see that his yaris are not definitely prepared to take my charge, and I'm going to just keep cleaning up with my light cav over here. More than a good job. Now the light cav is a pretty useless unit, as I said before, but they have some of the best animations in the game. I mean, I absolutely love it. There's this one animation where this guy throws the spear. Oh, look at this guy. It's like, oh, anyway, he's dying there, and you can see that I'm just going to pull my light cavalry casually away. Brought his other unit down to 28 men, so now archer superiority is mine, and I have achieved 1 superiority on the battlefield. In terms of the sword department, I've also got a superiority, but he should be able to outmaneuver me. And look at this, my opponent just left his troops in spear wall. And when you leave your Yari Yashigaru, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but when you leave your Yari Yashigaru in spear wall for a long time, they actually get tired because they are holding their spears out vertically, and I think that's cool. So he's going to leave them there, and this is key right now. This is a key moment in the battle. My opponent should have just took the spear wall off and let his unit run with the spears up, so they let the gravity do the work as opposed to them doing the work. So at this point, my opponent, I don't know what he's trying to do. I guess this is either an attempt to waste some of my ammunition, or an attempt to try and run in the trees and get a bonus, or maybe even bait me to do a cav charge with my own cavalry. But I'm not going to fall for that, seeing that I do know that he has 2 katana units and 2 light cav units in that woods. You can see that this unit is down to 18 men now, and they are still being shot as they're running uphill by my own bows, who at this point in the battle still have about 50% ammunition. So still trying to take shots, and you can see now at this point he decides to stop, turn around to take a shot. That's absolutely going to do nothing. I still have 31 men, so that didn't really hurt at all. And I think he manages to pull off one more volley. No, he does not. Does he? Forget. Still no casualties. And now that volley is going to actually break them. Oh, that guy took it, man. Took it. Face down in the mud, bro. Face down in the mud. So now that Boshigaru unit has fled, and now that I have got rid of my opponent's bows, I can start picking off his infantry little by little. He's going to try and pull back to a more defensive formation, or a more defensive position. Still got his units in spear wall, and look, they're starting to get very tired here. And this is the time for me to strike, and I'm going to push my troops forward here. Light cavalry lost 1 guy in the charge there. There they are, running forward again, trying to get a good position. Looks like my opponent now is going to come and face me. So, even though it probably would have been a better idea for him to run all of his troops into the trees and get cover from my arrows, because at this point my arrows are going to be doing some considerable damage, especially if he keeps his unit in spear wall, and he does keep them in spear wall. And when they're in spear wall, they're going to take more casualties from arrows, just because they're tighter together. And look at that, shots coming in, and now it looks like my opponent is going to go off spear wall and command a charge towards my troops. I'm going to keep taking shots into his units, bringing this one down to 45 men. And now I'm going to push my own Yari Yashigaru forward, and notice that I only push 1 forward and leave 1, because I know he's got light cav. And now my own spear wall is going to go up, and notice that I'm also sending 2 units of Nodachi Samurai to the side. Banzai activates here, and I'm charging into these units. Now Banzai is going to allow me to absolutely decimate these guys. He has reactivated his spear wall, so it's a spear wall versus spear wall charge here, which is kind of cool. Banzai charge again from the side, and you can see now that I'm running my troops here 1 to protect my general, and 2 to make sure that my flank gets the support that it needs. In come his light cavalry, they do a decent charge. In come the other unit, but they're going to get caught on my Yari Yashigaru. You can see that my light cav is still sitting stationary, and my bows, I think at this point I turned the fire at will off because they didn't really have an angle for 1, and 2 I didn't want to hit my own men because I wasn't sure how the infantry fire was going to go. And you can see here that I used my light cavalry to actually charge my opponent's general. And I want to make this go a little bit quicker and try to save my light cav from taking more casualties than they need. So here comes Matsuda himself, running forward. He's going to actually charge towards that general unit and get it to rout instantly. This Katana Samurai now is engaging with my Yari troops, and at this point my opponent, I think, conceded defeat. So you saw there how I tried to use my experience and to the best of my ability and win when I was outnumbered. Remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe if you guys learned from this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.